Okay, I've muted everyone now. Welcome to this session, and just confirm that you can hear me by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, good, excellent. All right, this is going to be a quick session on MDT Windows Update 2. It's a deviation from what we are trying to achieve by configuring SCCM 2012 Release 2. But the objective of this session is to show that you can to show how to use MDT, the light touch installation, the LTI installation in MDT. And with that, when we get to do this in 2012 release 2, we will be able to demonstrate the advantage of using the zero touch, the ZTI, zero touch installation. So for this lab, we've got two VMs, and if I just start off by showing you the Mdt server. So the Mdt server is basically a straightforward member server. This is an evaluation member server, which is a domain in a domain called ejike1.net. It has we've downloaded on the E drive. We've downloaded the some software that we're going to be using. This is the ISO. We extracted the ISO for the Evaluation 10 Enterprise 64-bit, and we've got some downloads here like the ADK, the MDT 2012 released 2013 update 2, and some other stuff. And we're also going to start introducing using PowerShell, and so for when we're going to set up the UDS for UDS service. So let's start straight away by first installing the ADK. This is a big download, which I advise you to download and extract onto your local drive. So if we start by installing that, because this is a download, it doesn't it goes straight to show you where you can do the installation. We're going to use the default, which is the C drive. We're just going to take the defaults just taking the defaults, and here the only features that we actually do need is the deployment tools, obviously, the Windows PE tool, the ICD, and the user state migration tool. So those are the only four that features that we're going to install. So click install to install that. Because we have pre-downloaded the software, you can see the installation is going to be a quick one. So this is going to quickly just zoom through. And once we've installed this, we're going to install the MDT 2012 2013 update 2, which is also a quick installation. That is it's going to be less than 2 minutes. We'll do that. So that will be, we'll just take the defaults, and then we'll log in and configure the deployment share. Just to quickly show you, as you can see on the E drive, we do not have the deployment share at this point in time, but when we set up, you will see us create the network share, deployment share, and the subfolders in it. So let's just wait for this to complete. This will take a few minutes. Also, we're going to be using this machine to this MDT. We're going to also configure it for WDS so that we can also use it for Pixie. So those are a few things that we're going to do. So just wait a few minutes. Sorry. Like I said, if you've got any questions, please ask any questions as we go along straight away. We've got a great team. Tony's team is there to answer all your questions. I'm just here to run the show, and he will be taking he and his team will be answering all the questions as we go along. And we'll also have some minutes after this session. Okay. So that's complete. If we go back to the D drive and go to and install the Microsoft Deployment Tool 2013. So we're just going to take the default, accept the license agreement, click next. Just take the default. There's nothing to worry about here, and click finish. So we have installed the we've completed the installation of the ADK for toolkit for Windows 10, and we've installed the MDT 2013 update 2. So now if we go and configure this by launching the deployment workbench. So you could have a quick look at, there's loads of information there that you can just click on the links to get some information, especially the MDT Windows TechNet. So, but as you can see, we do not have any deployment shares at this point. With this Windows Update 2002, you can create as many deployment shares as you want. But we're just going to create one straightforward one, and for the installation deployment onto a bare metal hardware. Key thing here is that I do strongly recommend that you do choose another drive other than the C drive. We're gonna in our case we're gonna choose E. Click next. Click next. You can just take the defaults, take all the defaults. These options, you can modify them in the configuration settings .ini file or the bootstrap. These can you can modify these files there. In this case, I'm just going to change this to Oxford BitLocker because we don't really need that. But we'll be using the rest like this. And click next. So that is complete. So now, as you can see, we have now created the MDT deployment share, which is on the E drive. So if we just go to the E drive, if I can just quickly show you. So now on the E drive, we now have the deployment share. So this share, sorry, this network share has all these folders which we are going to update in the using the deployment share wizard. So before we do that, my recommendation is that you create subfolders and name them wisely so that they will help you when you do launch the task sequence. You will know which folder is for which application or which OS. So in this case, we're going to type in, let's call this Windows 10, 64-bit, and let's just use today's date, 13th 03 16. So this way we will know which folder it is and when it was created. So I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to use it for the rest. So that's created. So we've created this folder, this subfolder in applications, and we're going to also do the same in the operating system. So create a folder, just call it the same thing. And also we're going to do that for the tasks. We're not going to do out of the box drivers because this is just a VM. We're not going to do any packages. So we're going to go straight to the task sequence and create a folder there. And click next. So we've now created all the subfolders that are going to be related to this bare metal installation. So first, now the first thing we're going to do, we are going to update some applications, but that is for the second stage. Let's go straight to just doing the bare metal installation with Windows 2010. So on the operating system, we're going to import the operating system, full set source files, and we have all that already extracted, as I already mentioned, in the D drive. Sorry, that's not there. Oh, sorry. So that's all there. We want to move the files so that just to make it to save time in copying them, because we don't really need it anymore. We're going to leave the default. Click next, and click next. So that's completed, and there you go. That's the all the information regarding the operating system that we've just that we have just imported. Now, with the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to also import a task sequence. So let's create a new task sequence, and likewise we're going to give it a proper ID. So we can call this in. We can call it today's date, 13th. 1303 16 Windows 10 x64. So we're gonna call it the same, give it the same name for the task sequence name. Click next. There are different options that we can choose, but we're just going to use the standard client task sequence. We could go. We might be going through the rest later on, but not for this this lab. Click next. We choose the operating system. Click next, and that is. So for the key, we're not going to specify, do not specify any product key at this time. We're going to leave that Windows, and we're going to just call this organization agk1.net. Click next, password. So we're getting it the local administrative password, and that's all completed. So if we just go back to the deployment share, I just want to show you. So in the deployment share, as you can see, we don't have anything in applications yet, but we now do have in the operating system, we now have the Windows 10 there. And we also have what I wanted to show you is that we do not have any boot win files or exe right at this point, so I am going to generate those right now. So if I just go back to the deployment, and before we do that, actually I want to show you the properties of this. So the key thing here is that on general it shows the UNC path, but the rules, this this init file, this, as you can see, you can change, modify some of the settings here. Those are those settings that are modified. If you can remember, I skipped the BitLocker, that was done, and also the cool thing with Windows Update, with Update 2, is that you now have, it now automatically creates this deploy route and adds the correct settings. So that's that. So that's the key thing that I want to show you under the properties. So let's update the deployment share to generate the boot image. So we're going to completely regenerate it. Click next, and let it do its thing. This does take a while, but I'm just going to leave it and to run in the background. And once it's completed, we will. I'm going to pause this, and we take some questions and answer, and I'm going to answer as many right now, and then we will while we wait for this to complete. Okay. Okay, so I'm back. Let's continue. So we have now completed the the restore of we've generated the the boot file, the WIM files that I mentioned, and the ISO disk that can be used, that you can put onto a disk, onto a CD disk, or onto a USB drive. So we're pretty much ready to do the bare metal installation. So let's do that now. So if I minimize this, and if I drag my image, if I bring my VM here, so the VM is now here. So let's do this. So basically, if let's see if I can show you the settings. So basically, we've mapped the ISO image for it to be installed. Okay, so let's do this. And if we just click start, let's do that. And there you go. Sorry. The task sequence starts. So we can start the deployment. So click on that. Type in the administrator password, username and password. If I can spell. And as you can see, this is why I said that you should give it a good name the folder and the in the task and the task sequence, so that it makes logical sense for you. Click next, and we're gonna call this computer name group 1 client 1. I'm gonna join it to the domain. Domain to be joined. Just take the default. We're not moving any data. We're not doing any user data restore. And we'll just change this to United Kingdom. Click next. So if you just have a look at the details, and there you go. That's all the details there for you. And click begin. So now that is running in the background, we're going to go back onto the Mdt server, and we will now set up the Windows deployment. The Windows, not the Windows deployment, the WDS for the Pixie. So now we're going to set up the Windows, set the service. But first, actually, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to start introducing PowerShell to our lab. So if we just should be here actually. So we're going to run this as administrator and just paste it there and enter. So while that is running, we will also quickly go here and add the role. So we're saying here, role base, click on next, click on next. So what we are going to install is the Windows deployment service. It's going to add these extra features. add features, and let's have a look here if this is complete. Still enabling. Let's wait for it to complete. Sorry. So that's complete. When we go next, oh, it's not showing there yet. That is surprising. Let me just cancel this and start it over again, just so that I can show you, make sure that everything is there. Click next, next, next. Windows deployment service. Click add features, yeah, and click next. And there you go. As you can see, it has been installed. I just wanted to show you that before we complete. So click next, click next. We are going to add these role services. Click next and install. So this won't take long. Okay, as you can see, installation has succeeded. And let's click close. We don't need this, so close. Click close, sorry about that. And now continue. Let's go and configure the Windows deployment service. So as you can see, as the server it hasn't been configured yet, so let's configure it. So let's configure it. Say click next. This is integrated with the Active Directory because it's a member server, so let's leave it at that. We could just accept the remote install location because we're not going to do that for this lab. Let's just take it like that. It's going to give us a warning, but we're just going to ignore it anyway. We're not going to be setting up the images here, so I'm not really bothered about that. So we just click the. This is going to be the Pixie server, and we are setting it to respond to all client computers, both the known and unknown. So no approval is required on our part. Okay. Click next, and then just wait for it. So we're not, like I said, we're not adding any. Let me just stop. We're not adding the images now. I just want to show you how else you can do that. So the only thing that we are going to configure here is the boots, the boot images. So if we right click and click add boot images and browse to where we have them, which is the deployment network share. Let's click on boot. We could technically take the two. So let's take that one. But since this is we're only doing this for x64 bit, let's just take the x64 and ignore the 86 32-bit. Let's ignore that and just go for the 64-bit. So that's there. What else do I need to do here? Let me just have a quick look at the properties. Yeah, there's nothing here to be done here. So the only thing that we now need to do is to actually configure the properties of this server, which is we are setting the boot. The Pixie is already set up as we to respond to all computers, but no. But the only key thing that we need to set up here is the boot policy. We're going to leave it to require the user to press F12 to continue that. So which means that whenever the machine reboots, it doesn't automatically go into the Pixie. And so we are setting up the x64 architecture. So select for both of them. And because we didn't select the first one here, it's not gonna give you the option anyway. So ignore that. And that's pretty much all that needs to be configured. We're not going to do multicast at the moment, so let's click OK. So with that done, all we need to now do is to restart the service, just to make sure that everything, all the configurations has been taken. So we've restarted the Windows deployment service, and we're ready to do a Pixie. So before we do that, let's have a look and see if the bare metal has been installed on the first client machine. Oh, and there you go. As you can see, it has been completed without any errors. Okay. So click finished. So that is done. So let's move on to the Pixie boot for this machine that we set up for the WinW. So if I go onto the Hyper-V, we just connect to that and start. So there you go. Just click enter to go in, and there you go. It's starting to load the Wim 64-bit. There is something I should have done just to show. I was gonna. That's when you just doing the things on the fly. I was gonna set up an application software so that you can see how application software can be added to the task sequence, or can show up in the boot task sequence, so that the user can actually install it. I think I would like to do that just so that people can see that. So let's cancel this. Sorry about this. So we're going to turn this off. We're going to go back onto the Mdt server and go back onto. Let's go back to the Workbench. And on the applications, we are going to add a new application with the source file. Click next. Which one should we use? We'll use something simple. Oh, this is the deployment stage, sorry. Let's use the McAfee. So McAfee. Sorry about that. Okay. So we are going to use the McAfee, the publisher, and the application name is called the EPO agent, and the version is 5.0. Language is obviously English. Click next. So we're going to browse to where the software is. So if we just browse to where the software is. So we're going to browse. it. Just to save more time. Click next. Yes, that's all correct. Now for the command line, I do advise that you do go and make sure that you copy exactly as it's written. So let me just view. So okay, this is an XC. You make sure that you copy it as it does appear here, so that you don't make any typos, or you make sure that it's a you put in an XC instead of or MSI. So I could make this a quiet installation, but I'm going to leave it as it is, so that it shows us in the tasks. One is going to show up in the tasks sequence, and two is also going to show up when that is completed, and then we will be prompted to do something. But we can make it quiet so that we don't do that. But I'll show you that as we get along. Click next. Take all that. And take all that. That's fine. And take all this. Now, to be honest, because we haven't added anything to, we haven't made any updates to any rules or any to the Windows PE or any drivers, you don't necessarily need to do an update. So we are pretty much good to go as it is. So let's go back and start this client. So if we start the client, so enter to get in. Because it's just the 64-bit, it goes straight in. If we had the option of the 86 and the 64, you'll have the option to choose which one you want to take. Sorry. So just wait. Okay, so that's the bootstrap settings. Nothing was changed there, so that we don't have to worry about that. So we log in. Sorry. This. I'm having a bit of a net blank. Getting tired, that's what it is. So we choose that, click next, and we are going to call this group 1 client 2. We're going to add it to the domain gk1.net. Take the default. We're not moving it at anything at this point. Click next. We're not restoring. Click next. Yeah, this is a UK machine. London. Click next. And there you go. That's the McAfee EPO agent that's you can add as an application. And just we can now click next, and that will appear in the details, and that will appear in the details as software that can be installed. If I could find it, it should be here. There you go, at the bottom. Alright, so click next. So this is now going to do its thing. When it's completed, instead of giving us the final page, it will prompt us to say that the application has been installed, click OK to continue. If we had put in a hash queue for quiet, then it would have just completed the installation and it will be ready to go. So I'm just going to leave this now, and we'll be back when we to do the when it's done. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here and just point out here that the installation for the McAfee EPO Agent 5.0 is being installed right now. So as soon as that completes, it is going to prompt us to it will confirm that it's there you go. It's confirmed that this has completed. We won't be it. We need to intervene by clicking OK for it to complete the deployment. We, like I said, we could set this so that you don't need to click OK. So there you go. As you can see, this is completed without any errors. All added to the net domain and everything. So we should be good to go. So if I just show you for this one, what should I do? Systems should show that it's been added to the domain. Okay. So that concludes doing the MDT bare metal deployment. The next session we'll be doing, we will be modifying the task sequence, and we will also create a reference WIM file that will be used to deploy future computers, and that pretty much covers it. So we're going to go through all the Q&A, and we'll be sending this video over to folks as once we've gone through the Q&A. All right, thanks, and talk to you later. Cheers, bye.